They're going to win the middle 3 games, something that no team has done at home since they went back to a 2-3-2 format in '85. There was actually a time in the mid-50s, believe it or not, when a home team won all 3 games in the middle. It was the Pistons. They were in Fort Wayne, but of all crazy things, they played those games in Indianapolis and beat the Syracuse Nationals.
And the last team to win an Eastern champion, who were from the East, without Phil Jackson being involved, were the Detroit Pistons in 1990.
Rick Fox ending the game hunched over his former teammate Lindsey Hunter and congratulating him as the clock ticks down. And the Detroit Pistons, wow, who won the NBA championship in '89 and '90, and the crazies just have to stop blowing up stuff in indoor buildings before we have a disaster. Thank you, Commissioner. But the Detroit Pistons have just shocked the Los Angeles Lakers. 100-87 to win the NBA title. The number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. And for the Lakers, it truly will be the end of a particular era. They've had the 3 championships. They brought in the other guys. We talked about how much they'll revamp. For Joe Dumars, who was selected by Bill Davidson to run the team, he can exult. Phil Jackson will contemplate his future, and they'll talk about that very shortly, I'm sure, in the next couple of days as the confetti rains down at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Chauncey Billups, a likely candidate for the MVP award. And the Detroit Pistons, this gritty, gutty, defensive-oriented team, plays phenomenally on both ends of the floor and beat the Lakers in 5. Shelly Brown, like a lot of coaches' wives, a lot of different homes, you've got to keep the family together. And this was a very rough year for Larry because his family was settled in Philadelphia, the kids in school. He's trying to fly back on off days, living in an apartment. Back and forth they go. For Kobe Bryant, the biggest of question marks, of course, for him.
Yes.
And so the complete contrast and evidence here as the game is over.
Well, you just look at this entire season, and this Detroit Pistons team always believed that they could. They played the same way all year, and you knew every time you played this team that they were going to come out and play hard, play great defense, and as we've said 100 times now, play the game the right way. There's a lot of people smiling at this basketball team.
Stuart Scott.
Tayshaun Prince, you guys did something that nobody outside your locker room thought you would. It wasn't just that you beat them, but how? What did you all know that nobody else did?
We just took it to them, man. We knew we could play with everybody in this league. And I think we showed it today, but obviously they came out, gave it everything they have, and we just kept fighting. We kept fighting, and it was just an all-around effort by everybody today.
Everybody in your locker room was concerned about one thing coming into this game, not to get so uptight that you try to do too much individually. How did you blow them out like this?
Hey, just a situation where it was like a last game for them. We said the same thing for us. This is the last game. Look at it, us being down 3-1. That's how we took it.
We haven't seen you smile the entire series, man. Give me one.
You know what? I'm feeling so happy right now. It's all inside, but man.
There's a chant around town that goes, Detroit basketball. And the guy who originated it is the PA announcer here. He'll take us to the ceremony. Mason.
And now, Piston fans, the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you. I guess the address has changed here. This is now 4 Championship Drive in Auburn Hills, Michigan. Here to present the Larry O'Brien Trophy to the world champion Detroit Pistons, the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern.
Against the celebrated and valiant effort by the Los Angeles Lakers, your Detroit Pistons demonstrated that fairy tale endings do actually occur in sports, as rare as they may be. Against all expectations, but because of hard work, very hard work, and teamwork, I'm delighted to congratulate Bill Davidson, the owner of the Pistons, Tom Wilson, Joe Dumars, particularly Coach Larry Brown, and of course, the city of Detroit, who believed in this team. And this team met their expectations, even though no one else expected it. So to your 2004 NBA champion Detroit Pistons, congratulations, and here's the trophy.
Take that, Ben. Mr. Davidson. Now you have the WNBA championship, the Stanley Cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I know all the championships mean so much, but I've seen you in the practice facility, seeing these guys. This is your baby. This one has to be super special to you.
Absolutely, it is, and this is the greatest. I always have to be a little careful that I say I like them both equal, but this is a great night, and the guys did a tremendous job.
Congratulations, Bill Davidson, owner of the Detroit Pistons. We have to get Larry Brown over here. Coach Larry Brown. Coach, I know you inherited a very good team, but they did figure out the right way to play. It seemed like the right fit for the coach and the players. Tell us your emotions as your family's here and you've finally, after the long journey, become the first man to win an NCAA championship and an NBA championship as a coach.
Well, one, I feel fortunate that I inherited a team that Rick Carlisle coached. He did a great job. I'm sorry Chucky Atkins and Michael Curry and John Barry and Cliff Robinson aren't here to enjoy it. But this is a great team. Mr. D and Joe and the whole staff assembled great guys that do play the right way, and I'm proud to be part of that. Thank you.
I know there are two people who are watching who you share great emotion for and with. Coach Smith, Dean Smith, your mentor, and your 99-year-old mom who has just watched you and your older brother Herb work together to win an NBA championship. Having your brother here, your mom watching at home, has to be special to you.
Well, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Coach. A lot of us in this profession benefited by being around him. And for my mom, I babysitted my brother long enough, and we finally got it done. I love you, Mom.
Larry Brown, coach of the champion Pistons. Now time for the presentation of the most valuable player trophy, and once again, Commissioner Stern.
You saw it, 21 points a game, over 5 assists. The 2004 NBA Finals MVP, #1, Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey, you just looked at that and said, wow. After all the places you've been and the expectations when you were drafted high in the draft, all the stops, did you ever stop dreaming that you could find the right place for your talents?
I never stopped dreaming, man. God is good. You know, God is very good. He put me here for a reason, and that's the reason.
You guys were as heavy an underdog as we've seen win the championship in almost a quarter century. I know the guys believed Tell me why this team was able to overcome the Lakers.
Because we just believe in ourselves, and we play team basketball. We're not just individuals. We got individual good players, but we're a great basketball team, and we know that can overcome every time.
Congratulations, MVP of the finals, Chauncey Billups. I would imagine you would like to hear from Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars, finals of the NBA MVP of the finals, I should say, joins Jerry West as the only people to be finals MVP and the architect of a championship team. I know it's sweet as a player. Tell me what it's like to be the boss.
It's so much better here. You put your heart and soul into it, and to have this happen is just unbelievable.
Joe, as I said, this team was a heavy underdog. When did you believe this team could do it?
I felt like we could win this thing. I really did. Even before the series started, I thought that we could win. And I knew we were underdogs, but I never thought that these guys were. I just felt like these guys, it was their year to win it.
Joe Dumars and the rest of the world champion Detroit Pistons, ladies and gentlemen. And we send it back to Al Michaels.
All right, thank you, Mike. So Billups wins an MVP award in the finals before he ever makes an all-star team. Who's the last guy to do that? Joe Dumars did it on one of the Detroit championship teams in '90. Just a few moments ago, what's it like on the other side? Michelle talked to Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher, obviously this is an incredibly emotional time. What is your team going through in that locker room?
Mixed emotions, Michelle, to be honest. Extreme disappointment, but very resilient. I'm so proud of this team. We didn't have to be here. We went through some things that I don't think any other team could have gone through and still gotten to this point. And you know, we definitely have to tip our hat to the Pistons, no question about that. You have to win graciously and you have to lose graciously, and we're disappointed, but the Pistons were the better team this year.
You guys came into this game saying all the right things, that you believed you could get it done, that you were confident that you'd been in this position before. What happened out there tonight?
Same things as have been happening this entire series, you know. Second chance points, you know, offensive rebounds, you know, they're beating us to loose balls. You know, I think they wanted it more, you know, collectively as a group. That doesn't take anything away from anybody on our team. I think we wanted it as well, but they were able to take, you know, emotionally what they desired and what they wanted and carry it over to the physical. And we were a step slow too many times, and, you know, they deserve it.
Phil Jackson had said many times this may be a last dance for this particular team. What are your thoughts about the future of this team? How likely is it you'll be together next year?
You know, who knows? You know, the nature of this business has really changed over the years, and, you know, from year to year, when you leave that locker room for the last time, you never know if you're going to see that guy again. And, you know, I think we'll all just, you know, enjoy the time that we have left together tonight and tomorrow on our plane ride back. And, you know, just be thankful that we had this opportunity. A lot of guys haven't had this opportunity. And, you know, we had a chance and we couldn't get it done, but we're thankful.
In a 9-day period, I can't think of a turnaround like this in such a huge event. I mean, it's almost as if in a World Series or in a Stanley Cup, one team is expected to win, and then not only does the other team win, the other team becomes so dominant that by the end, the underdog looks like it's invincible, and the favorite looks like it can't win a game if he played until August.
And it wasn't just a couple of people. It was most people. I mean, experts, quote-unquote experts, saying 5, can it go 4? And when you heard that, it was all about, can the Pistons win one game? If they won one game, it would be a good series. I mean, this was a dominant performance, and it was a great team performance. Before we go, Al, I want to say that Al Michaels here has just completed the Grand Slam. He's done hockey, basketball, baseball, and football, all the world championships, and that's pretty awesome.
And the world barrel jumping championship.
Yeah, I wanted to leave that part out.
We're not going to put it in there. You know, it was so interesting watching the teams walk off. I mean, the Lakers, and clearly they'll be broken up in some measure to a large extent in all likelihood.
It will.
And then Larry Brown, and you know, I'm just watching Larry, and he's talking about his 99-year-old mother, and you saw the way he was, and it's never been about Larry. And by the way, I saw his other wonderful moment in life, his only hole-in-one on the golf course, one of 5 people to do that.
Yes, exactly.
And it's always about the others, and he is so elated for his players, for the coaches that he's worked with, for the kids he's brought along. And I can't think of a guy in that profession more respected than Larry Brown.
Well, he reminds you of the John Wooden of the NBA. I mean, John Wooden was a lot like Larry Brown, that all the titles and all the accomplishments that he had and Larry Brown has, he always talks about the greatness of the players and everybody else around him, almost deflecting what he's done. Larry Brown is a great basketball coach, and he's known around this league as the coach's coach. So it's rare that other coaches, because this is competitive league, but it's rare that other coaches are happy for a coach when he wins a title, but everyone's happy for Larry Brown.
He's helped turn the balance of power a little bit back to the East. You'll keep that going.
Yes.
My man going to the Boston Celtics. Someday again, I'll come out of retirement when you're finished with the Celtics.
Oh, thank you, Al.
Great series.